Hey, how's it going, all you lovely people at Chateau Door Shutter, coming back to you with a brand new episode of Project Architect 2. And today, we're going to be looking at upgrading some of our thermal stuff here. So, I've got some multi-cycle injectors. I'm going to do 4 of these guys to do soul infused. So this is from Thermal Extras here. And I do want to do one more upgrade to these guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly make some gears. Finite gears. And we're going to upgrade these just a little bit further. And down here, I've got 4 compression dynamos. One of them has a reinforced integral component because I was just testing around with this. And all of them have now an auxiliary reaction chamber, which increases the actual maximum output that can be produced per generator, right? Per one. So right now we've got this to 240 with a non-integral component and 2 multi-cycle injectors. This is at 80 RF a tick with 109 efficiency. So what I'm going to try is I'm going to put one of these multi-cycle injector twinite versions and see if we can go over 100. Okay, so perfect. So we're over 100, and that is beautiful to see. So I'm thinking if we did this with... So if we do this with this auxiliary reaction chamber, I feel like the soul infused might be the best option. But let's give this a go. I don't... I'm actually going to make a little bit more twinite because I want to be able to make this just in case. Okay. So let's toss this in here. Oh, I need more of the upgrade pieces. I need more of these guys. Oh, I'm completely out of Invar. Okay. Let me go get some more Invar plates. I have enough to do this. I just don't have any more plates because I only made 32. Alright, we should now be able... Well, actually, if I crafted the things, I completely thought I just did, but I did not. We're just going to grab 4 of these guys, and we are going to do this, and the soul-infused gear. And we're going to go downstairs real quick, and we're just going to test with this. We're going to throw this in this one here. Okay, so that is 103% efficiency at 246 RF a tick. And beforehand, it was 120. Okay. I mean, that's not terrible. Not at all. And the next tier would be what? 110? So I think that would put us at the same boat of being at 99%. So let's just go ahead and go do that. I know we're kind of wasting power whenever I do that, by the way. When you pull gears and put them back in and all that stuff, you're wasting fuel. But that's okay. We're doing this for testing purposes. And to see if this is actually going to be a viable source of power here, right? So I'm okay with wasting a little bit here and there. Okay. So Twin X, auxiliary chamber. And we throw that in this one. So that is 252, and it actually kept to 103 efficiency, which is awesome. I think the next bit of testing that I want to do, because I'm okay with spending the resources needed to get these to be viable. I know somebody was saying that we could go ahead and use the niotic thermal generators, or the nitro. It's either niotic or nitro, because these would give you a lot of power, right? They genuinely will. 160,000 FE per tick. And then you have the different blocks that add way more heat. But I'm going to avoid using these. I know that this pack is kind of structured around making them just overpowered as can be. But I'm okay with trying new things. It's been a minute since I've messed with thermal, and I'm genuinely enjoying it. But yeah, let's look at getting the integral. Integral. There we go. I want to look at getting the resonant with Enderium, and that is ender pearls, diamonds, and lead. Hey, quick interjection here. If you guys are enjoying the content, it'd be greatly appreciated if you could leave a like and or subscribe, or leave a comment, as, you know, hearing from you guys, advice, feedback, things you want to see in the pack, things I might be doing wrong, anything like that is greatly appreciated. Thank you guys, and let's get back into the video. So we do need a diamond dust. So if I just grab some diamonds, I'm going to toss these guys in here. I'm going to pull out How many do I need to pull out here? Okay. To just get the thing to have more power. And then we just need lead. We need fire charges, and then we need ender pearls. Go outside and grab some instead of EMCing. Okay. And then we should be able to do Enderium. And that is just straight up Enderium, so that's fantastic. And then this is requiring hardened glass, which I actually have some in here. Okay. So we need aluminum. I'm gonna have to put some stuff away. Hold on. So what else do we need real quick so I can just go grab it? Aluminum gear and the reinforced integral component. I don't think I have any more aluminum, so let me craft that, and I'll go downstairs and grab this, which is going to waste some power and some fuel. I understand. We're okay with it. Let me get this crafted. Okay, so here is the resonant integral component, and I was actually looking at the next tier for this, because you do have the dragon steel integral component, but you also have this pristine integral component here from thermal energy, and that is actually not that expensive. These require the prismalium ingots, which the recipe is here in the induction smelter, so we'd have to get an induction smelter. But you need prismarine shards and prismarine crystals and nickel dust, which I don't think I have any prismarine shards. But how do we make prismarine shards? Because if I have to go find some prismarine blocks, I think that could be done. Yeah, I can see that I can do earth charges. I could use the crushing macerator, multi-servo press. Okay, pulverizer. So I have crystals. So what I could do, and this is just me doing like an example to get the EMC-able part, right? Okay, so there's the prismarine shard. And then that means that I have that learned. So I could, in theory, just work on getting the induction smelter, which isn't that costly, I might add. I just haven't done it because I haven't had the power. We can do that, and then we could get the prismarine, and we could have even better version of the generator we have. And this can go up to another tier, which this is end related. This is not something we can do right now. But in the future, if we wanted to, we could do that. And that actually beats thermal extras because you're not dealing with the dragon steel. And this one is only 6 times. And that's the highest tier it looks like. Let's check. Integral component. So you've got the 3 normal tiers, the generic tiers here. So up to 4 times. So thermal energy starts with 6 times, goes up to 8.5, and then stellar, which is 12 times. And then you've got the abyssal integral component, the dragon steel component. So it goes from dragon steel to the abyssal, and you're just kind of now getting to the pristine integral component. Okay. I think that's an idea. I will probably pursue that here in a little bit. I just kind of want to quickly go test this. And I'm actually going to cut the fluid off, because, yeah, we have been wasting a lot, and I'm going to try and negate that a little bit. But 336 RF a tick from this machine alone. I mean, that's not the worst. It really is not. Not at all. So this actually adds maximum output of 300%. Consumption, fuel energy 1.5. Okay, so you've got this nullifier augment, and you've got this fuel nullifier augment, which I'm assuming... So fuel energy 1.14, and this one is 300% maximum output, while this one's 110. So you would lose a lot of efficiency, though, right? Well, maybe not, because it is 1.5. But this one is the Melodyne plate. Well, this one you could actually get now, but you're going to nuke your efficiency into the ground. Interesting. I don't think I'll do that. I mean, it's cool to know that's an option, but that will nuke our efficiency into the ground, and I don't want to worry about that. because we don't have the chorus fruit right now. I wish we had a way to get chorus fruit in the overworld, but I don't think we do. So I think the first bit of business is get the induction smelter here real quick off camera. Get it placed down, and I might just use these guys as the power to that. And I think that would get us to a decent integral component. We make 4 of those. We put those in the generators. We make sure they all have the Twinite upgrades. And, I mean, that's 336 RF a tick. Well, not really 336, right? Because it's going to be higher than that. So about probably 400. A little bit more than 400. And so that's 400, 400, 400, 400. So that is 1,200 FE a tick. I think that should be enough to kind of get this started. AE2 by this, I mean AE2. So yeah, let's get into that. Let me get the first portion, which is the induction smelter. We'll craft that once I get all the materials together, and then we will get into all the other shenanigans. All right, so induction smelter. Beautiful. And then we will go and we will grab energy pipes and our create wrench. We'll go back downstairs here. And we're just going to run pipes. Full power. Induction smelter. And then we can do... Let's rotate this to where it faces the back. And we can say on the left side is output. And then we'll say on the back is input. Auto and auto. Okay, let's go grab some chests or barrels or something. Okay, we've got 2 chests. And we are going to do the... What is... Actually, I want to see what this one is here real quick. Oh, that is... Actually, that's not terrible. Technically, we have all of the stuff to do this one, just not the next tier. Or the tier before that, right? So we don't have this stuff to do the Melodium. But we have this stuff to do the Stellarium. So whenever we have the ability to do that, we'll definitely get that going. That is for sure. How much power do these generate? 32? 64? It'd be cool to do a system like this. I think we could pull that off in this pack. But I don't know if I'll do that just yet. Okay. So we need prismarine shards, prismarine crystals, and nickel. Okay. So we'll just do prismarine, a stack and a stack. And a stack. It looks like I needed 2 nickel, didn't it? And 3 prismarine shards. So I might grab a little bit more of that. So we said input is this chest. And then output is that chest. And then this may be pretty slow, because it is the induction smelter after all. We may want to go upstairs. And I'm going to steal this and this. And then take the 2 out of here. It should speed this up pretty quickly. And we should have enough power to do this, I hope. It does look like we're kind of tanking, but we aren't really taking too much from that last one. But that is going to get us this. And we don't have to do fire charges anymore. We can do the recipes in this thing, by the way. Which is what you're supposed to do after a while. So we can do the... Yeah, here you go. Constantinian. That is copper and nickel. You could do signalum. But you also use this as a normal furnace. But here's dragon steel, nickel, ancient dust, nickel... Or netherite scrap, ancient dust, and nickel. Apologies. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff you can do. It looks like we actually have creative reclamation chambers from the thermal series. So this is like a creative recipe. That's going to be much further down the line. But that would allow for us to do no catalyst. That's actually pretty cool. We can also make brass in here. Okay. So we now need Enderium. So let's actually make some Enderium in this. We may as well, since we've got this. This recipe is diamond dust, lead, and ender pearls, or just lead in general. So lead, diamond dust, and ender pearls. And I promise this is going to lead to AE2, hopefully by the end of this episode. I really just want to get these things powered to the best that they can, and then I think we will be very well off to get going with that. Okay, so that will be Indirium. So I need a gear, or no, not a gear for each, right? This is a completely different thing. So integral component. So we want to make sure that we bookmark this one. So this is a resident integral component, which we'll need to make that. We'll need to make that, and I think we'll need to make those. So that's 3, 3, 3, and then 4 as of right now. And then we also need to make this and this into the next tier, and then into the next tier. Same thing here and same thing there. And yeah, so I'm going to let this run. I will get this stuff processed down as well, because we're going to need it anyway, because we're going to need more. Yeah, that should be good. Okay. Let me let this run. Let me get this stuff crafted off camera, and we will be back here in a little bit. Okay, so I still don't have all the upgrades, but I do have the pristine integral component here. I want to toss it in here. So this does actually 500. I thought it was going to do 400. Now this does way more. That is beautiful. Okay, so that is 1,000, 2,000 in total. And I actually do have the rest of these. So 480 with the base actual components. That's actually still not terrible. I still haven't got the Twinite and the other stuff. The Twinite. I said Twilight. The skin of a killer, Bella. And the soul-infused auxiliary reaction chamber. Why did I say that so calmly? That was so cringe. Okay. But yeah. So we have that. I am going to work on getting the rest of this stuff. I just wanted to quickly check and see how our actual portion would be, and that is pretty good. All right, real quick, making a redstone flux cell. You're probably like, why? Because I want to. That a lot of this is going to be because I haven't done it in forever. That's going to be the answer. Like 100%. I'm not coming off. Like I hope I'm not coming off rude. I'm doing a lot of this stuff because genuinely I haven't done it in ages, and I really want to mess with this. So one of the things that you can do is you can actually take the integral components, which we don't have an extra. If we did, I would throw one in here. And this thing only stores up to 1,000,000, so it's not going to be that useful. So I will get integral components. And if we look at the redstone, let's look up flux cell. What is... I know there's augments for this. So we have these right here. The expanded RF coil, so redstone flux. Let's see if we can just look that up. There we go. Now we can see all of them. So we've got the expanded, we've got the stabilized, we've got the high flux, and then we've got, of course, the creative one, which is craftable, I guess, technically. That's really cool. But each one of these does something differently. This one's a balance between capacity and transfer. This one is a more leaning on capacity than transfer. And this one, of course, is more transfer than capacity. In this case, I think I would go with 2 of these guys if I can. These are not that bad to make. So let's quickly grab everything we need. So we also need some silver. So let's make one of these guys. Actually, let's make 2 of these guys. And then we can slap these guys in here. Okay, we can only do 1. Can we do different types? Is that a thing? I actually don't know this answer. So if we wanted to do higher capacity, can we do 2 of them? Or is it just independently we can only do 1? Okay, it looks like our limit is 1 per. So what else can you put in here that would actually be useful? I actually have no idea. And then, of course, we also do have different tiers of these, which I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make the Twinite tier off camera here. So this does 8 times, this does 12 times. I think 12 times should do us just fine. And if we put this in here, by the way, we are up to 4 million. So that is, of course, 4 times. So we should be up to 12 million when we do this, but that's not including the integrated piece. Let's actually... So I have the smelter on me. Why not? So let's quickly come over here. I'm going to take this piece out, which is going to waste some power, but that should be fine. And we are going to put that in here. So that does 8 million, right? Because this is 2 times 4, so that's 8. Okay. I guess I could have just looked at that. So if we do the pristine one, that is 6 times, what? 6 times 2, or 6 times 4, which is 24, times whatever the actual piece is here. So 24 million. Okay. Let me get that. I'm going to work on just getting one more of these guys. And yeah, we will be back here in a second. 72 million RF in this one redstone flux cell, which I think is the most I've ever seen inside of this, but that's okay. Let's get this going. So what I want to do is this is going to be our main power for now, right? This whole thing. And we're going to remove this, and we're going to put this here, and we're going to configure this to do up is input, and then I think we'll do towards me as output, okay? And how are we going to do power for this? Well, I'm kind of thinking we go back to the old school of flux dust, the old flux networks here, which all of this looks EMC-able, which kind of makes me happy. It's a sight for sore eyes, so I don't have to craft all these things all the time. But we do need to get flux dust first before we can do much. So what we're going to need is we're going to need a piece of obsidian, and we're going to need a stack or so of redstone. In this case, we can do one because we really don't need more than one, because we're going to EMC this, and then EMC is going to lead for us to be able to get this just kind of like, hey, I need a flux node. Look at the EMC, the transmutation table, and then we're on to the next, right? Over and over and over and over, and repeat and repeat and repeat, okay? So we're going to go all the way down to bedrock. And once we're at bedrock, we make sure to turn our magnet off. And we're going to grab the obsidian. And we're going to put the redstone. And we're not going to do that. That was the wrong thing. We need to put this a block above the redstone and above the bedrock. Take 2. So this punch, there we go. And this obsidian has a chance to turn into cobblestone if you put too much redstone in there. I think even after a while, it just has a chance. I don't know the percentage or anything. It just has a chance of becoming cobblestone. I don't know if people can disable that. I actually have never looked at that. But yeah, so we now have flux dust and we have a stack of this. So we can now get flux cores, which do require obsidian and eyes of ender. So we're just going to grab a stack of eyes of ender, and we'll go in here and we'll grab the rest of our obsidian that we have. So flux core, immediately learn this. I don't really know if we need to at this point learn those specifically, but that's not a bad idea. And then flux block, which we will quickly learn. And we do need more, yeah, flux cores, because we just used all of them. So flux core, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll grab another flux block, because I don't actually remember. Okay, that's a block of redstone. So flux plug, flux point. So this one receives energy, this one transmits energy. We're just going to learn both of these guys. And then we also need what is called a flux controller. I don't really know if I need to learn this one specifically, but we will, just in case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 2 cores. Perfect. And then we also may want to look at doing this. So let's go in here and let's grab a stack of these. And then do we need glass panes? Yes. We may need more glass pane. So basic flux storage. Learn that. And then we're going to grab a stack. We're going to burn that one. Herculean. We're going to grab one of these. I guess I could just do that. Let's just do this. There's no point in wasting time. And then we grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we go for the gargantuan. And this, of course, is just a on-network storage buffer, okay? That's all this is. This is not really necessary at the beginning of Flux networks, but since we have the ability to get this, we're going to get this now rather than usually later down the line. And this also means that we'll have this 720 million where we can see it, while the other is going to be in our wireless power network. Okay, so I am going to put the controller. You know what? I'm going to put the controller right here. And I'm going to put the other pieces that we have, the 2 gargantuan. And I'm going to put these guys right here. Might as well. You know, just kind of have all the power stuff in an area. All right. So with this, we're going to do network selection. And I guess we do not need network selection. We need to create new network. It's kind of hard to see this. So let's turn this to light mode so you guys can see the buttons. That's why I kind of forget. But we're going to turn this public because, of course, we'll download it episode 25. That is a thing that we will be doing. And then you guys will have access to the network and everything if you guys want to mess with stuff. And we're just going to do Shuts network. We're going to make it simpler than what it is now. And we are going to go with this color. Sounds good. Okay. And then network selection. We just want to make sure we do Shuts network. And we're going to do power surge, bypass limit. And that should be golden. Okay. Now, we're going to take a Flux plug, and we're going to put this down, Shuts network, and we are going to do power surge, bypass limit, and this, I'm going to have to turn that back on, should start taking power. It is not pushing out power, which is concerning. Oh, you know why? Because I need to also set this. Yes, that is what I forgot. You have to set these guys too. So this doesn't have any storage, so this does have storage. So now we're filling that, and we should see, if we look at network statistics, that we have quite a bit of power flowing in. We have 1,024 FE a tick with a total of 8 million FE per tick, which is awesome. Okay. That is beautiful. That is beautiful indeed. And of course, this is only doing 1,000 RF a tick, so we're not doing... Actually, is that doing 1,000 RF a tick? That's what it said, right? Yeah, input of 1,024. Okay. I mean, that's fine by me if that's what it's saying. Everything else should be producing, yeah, 504. It looks like right now we're doing about 256 because we're not able to pull this out fast enough. So we may want to go invest in some pipe upgrades. So let's do at pipes. So that way we're just able to pull more power. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then gold. And then diamonds. Yeah, that's right. 4. And then 4. And we'll just quickly input everything back into the system. And so we then do this, 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 and then this. And then now we should be seeing a spike. And that spike will slowly go down once the buffers all dissipate. Okay. And that should start using our refined sunflower oil quite quickly, which means that we'll probably need to get these guys upgraded. And it looks like we actually need to get this one upgraded because it's not actually processing fast enough. It looks like all of them aren't. So, yeah, max use of 20 RF a tick. This one does 5 RF a tick, which actually, that's pretty darn low. And these guys are using 20. And right now we're producing 120, 120, 120. So that is, what is that times 3? Math is hard. 240, 360, 360. And we're only using, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that is 105, 125, 130, I would say. Okay. Yeah, I could slap some upgrades into these, so I will do that off camera. So we're going to just have like a whole upgrade suite, because I think our power system should be able to handle it. Actually, how much is the increase per unit here? So like, for example, on this one, so this is using 80 RF a tick. And if I take out So that's 40. So let's actually go just grab a couple and test here. So the machine here, so that goes up to 10. So if I do this one, this goes up to 40. And that looks like it significantly increases the speed on both of these guys. Okay. I might have to look at getting these upgraded. I don't know. I might just leave it at 1 for now and just see where that leads us, because I want to make sure we have enough refined sunflower oil, but I also don't want to, like, just kill our power. But I can add more thermo generators back if need be. I can move this compression dynamo and move this over 1 or something. Not 100% sure. But okay, let's focus on the next portion. All right, so let's get the first part of AE2's kind of starting process, right? This is not going to be too complicated because all we need to do is we need to go in and we need to grab some inscribers. So these inscribers, which I want to craft more than that, we're going to grab a total of 5. And I will explain why here in a second. But let's get these placed down. So these guys are going to require power. And I think we should be able to pipe in power directly into these. Let's actually check that because I can't recall. Let's grab energy pipes. Let's go for wrench. And then I'm just going to power these guys just like so with the power here. And we're going to do extract. And so these guys are powered, which is beautiful. So we are going to need the press pieces that we actually grabbed quite a while ago now. So we've got the inscriber silicone, inscriber engineer, calculation. Is that all of them? No, this one. No, this one. Yes, this one. Logic, calculation, engineering, and silicone, which I guess I actually don't need. We do need the 5th. We need it for end processing, basically. Because once you use these, what you'll get is the printed logic circuit, or the circuit that is with the press that you're using. And once you do that, you will then be able to combine these with redstone and silicone, and that is your logic processor or engineering processor, calculation processor. So let's go grab some gold, some diamonds, and let's go outside and grab our Certus quartz. Ooh, is this not working? Oh, I forgot to do that, didn't I? I put all of the stuff on these, and I completely forgot to change the redstone mode. That is okay. We have now changed it. And that means that this actually has way more than 2048, because these are full. So I'm actually going to grab some of this while I'm here. Perfect. It's a good thing we came out here, because that would have just kept dropping into the world. And that's not that great. Okay. And I don't think it's charged Certus quartz, right? It is just normal Certus quartz. Yes, okay. Perfect. I can't remember. I know some stuff does it, some stuff doesn't. So, silicone. How do we make silicone in this pack? That's a good question, because I actually don't know. So this is just Certus quartz dust. So this is the old classic. Okay. So we need to go back outside, or we could just do this. And that is going to run. That is going to get us some silicone. Beautiful. I've been smelting up some raw ores, by the way, just because I know we're running low on stuff. Alright, we're almost at a stack. Oop, I did not mean to sort and then grab that. But we have a stack of this, so we're going to toss a stack in here. And then remember, every time you do a stack, you're going to require the silicone to be a stack, right? So a stack of these is going to require a stack of silicone, so on and so forth. So this is the engineering processor. This one is calculation, which is Certus quartz. And this last one is the logic, which is gold. And then once this is completed, we will then need to move that over into this last one. And we can do acceleration cards. Usually I'll go for these pretty quickly. These things right here, they aren't actually that expensive. They do require a calculation processor, so we'll get those going first. But then you can speed all of this stuff up significantly once you do that. But how are we doing over here? Are we just still filling everything up? Yeah, this one, how much do these even store? I kind of forget. So these guys store 128 million FE, which is ridiculous. but we will get there. That'll be fantastic. So I'm going to start working on getting these guys processed, which I do need some redstone for. So this, and this. And I can just shift-click into this, as you guys just saw. Very fantastic. Very, very fantastic. Let's grab a barrel. And let's do auto-export. That'll just auto-export into the barrel, which is also fantastic. Of course, there has been a lot of changes in the 1.21 version of AE2. Of course, this is 1.20, and so all those changes haven't been carried over. But overall, this still works pretty well at the end of the day. All right, let's grab more of these guys. And once we get a little bit further into AE2, we can worry about actually refining and automating this a lot more. It's not too complicated, but whenever we automate it, I will make another inscriber for each individual one and then have a silicone enough for all three of them. Because, yeah, this is definitely an inefficient process, but once we get acceleration cards, this will bump up our speed a little bit there. So let's actually work on doing that now. So the advanced card, iron, glowstone, or iron, diamonds, and redstone. Goodness. Nope, I just grabbed glowstone because I said it. What do you got? Nothing worth a hoot. Okay. So we've got 5 machines, so 2, 4, so we want 20. And then we do the acceleration cards. Go downstairs, and 4, 4, 4, 4, and 4. And that will get us cruising. Okay, let me get these guys all completed. You just get a stack of each, and then we will keep on keeping on. We will get the controller, and then I think once we get the controller and the ME drive, just look up ME drive, because we're going to be doing just the basic one. This will be kind of our end point. I won't do discs on this episode. We will worry about that one next episode. But yeah, so let me get this completed, and we'll be right back. Real quick, I'm adding a little bit of automation to this. You know, just adding it to where we'll push in redstone. I don't actually know. Can access slots from specific sides. Top and bottom slots can be extracted from. I think that's normal. And we can just do this. I feel like the redstone's just going to pile into it, though. Guess we'll see whenever this happens. Because I probably should just move the power cables behind the wall. But I haven't done that yet. So let's remove these guys for a second. So it stops filling that slot. Okay, so this is smart enough not to do that. So if I do silicon... I know, I say it weird. Or wrong, occasionally. Okay, so that is just smart enough to do that. I'm hoping, at least, it might fill that and then just pile into the bottom. We'll see. A little bit more. Okay, it's not doing it. Perfect. So let's just toss those guys in there, and this will start processing, and of course it's still auto-outputting on the bottom. And this is doing the exact same thing, so I'm going to move that back up there, because I was testing some stuff a second ago. And that should be golden. Okay, just want to let you guys know I was doing that, because that's how you do it. In some aspects, it's not the most effective, but with this version, we're able to do it, so that is beautiful. Alright, ME controller. We're going to grab, I think, 8 of these for now. And then we are going to look at getting the ME drive, which does require some iron. Okay. And then we also want to grab what is called a storage bus. Now, the storage bus is going to be how we connect this to the drawers and everything of that sort. So we need Certus quartz and Fluix dust. So I think I need to take some of this and throw it in here. Okay. And then while that's doing that, what else do I need? Logic processors and Certus quartz crystals. So I'm just going to quickly... I know I have plenty outside. but I'm just going to be quick with this. And then hopefully... Perfect. Okay, so Annihilation, which is why I just grabbed Quartz. And then the Formation. And then Interface. Oh, I need Glass. So Interface. And then we need a Sticky Piston and a non-sticky piston. So Piston, Piston. That is a storage bus. And then I want to also grab Applied Flux. Is it Cell? I want to grab the Energy Cell from Applied Energistics 2 as well, if I can. So let's try and grab some of these. So we don't have quite as enough that I want. I actually do want to try and get a dense. I'm not going to get the creative one. I mean, that's actually probably craftable at this point, right? Yeah, you need a final star. Okay. It'll be something we maybe look at in the future. Okay, so I've got 6. I just need more Fluix Dust. 7, 8. And that is a dense energy cell. Okay. Let's go downstairs and just get this installed. Actually going to grab some cobblestone here. Because I actually want to put this directly above the elevator. So let's go 1, 2, 3 energy cell. And then we're going to just take our controllers and we're going to surround this thing in a ring. Just like so. And then I want to actually get on top of this here. Because I'm going to put our flux point here. Do I not? Did I put this in the backpack, I hope? I did not. Okay. Quickly go up. I guess I may have thrown it in the EMC. Because it does not look like I put it away. Okay. We'll just grab one. Alright. Cobblestone back out. Flux point. Shuts network. Power surge. Okay, so that's not actually connectable. So let's do it here. And that should start storing power and everything. And right now it's got no active drain or passive drain. But that's okay. Okay. So, in the next episode, we are going to worry about the ME drive and the ME storage bus, but I think we're past time. We have the controller, which is kind of the biggest point. We have the power and everything. And, yeah, I mean, this should be doing quite well. So, with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.